Hi there, I'm Peter Millard and this is 10 Minute Workshop. We're 10 minutes in the workshop. Well, it's never enough. It's never 10 minutes and it's never 10 minutes wasted. I've got another non-10 minute video for you this week, and we're going to be talking about making some little corner clamping elements that I have. They're really useful, they're really easy to make, and they're coming right up next. So one of the things that I get asked about fairly regularly in the comments and in email and on Twitter or whatever is these little guys, my sort of corner squares, my corner clamps, or clamping corners, or whatever you want to call them. I made these fairly obviously because you couldn't buy anything this janky. I made these, oh God, a long time ago, and they're really useful for when you're clamping up cabinet carcasses, or what you've probably seen me using them for, or just referring when you want a solid square, just to check squareness when you're making a door, or all kinds of different handy little uses for them. So over time these just get a little bit sort of gnarly and nasty. They get covered in bits of paint obviously, but you also get a little bit of glue and you know, bits of general cruft and nastiness. I usually get them over to the miter saw, give them a sort of a quick trim on the two outside faces, and that's often enough. But I think I'm going to make some new ones actually, because as I say, I must have had these about 10 years, and now I've got my little bandsaw. I'm going to see if I can get that to work. So let's give that a whirl. Now, before we actually do that, let's just talk about squares for a second, because one of the basic things you're going to need is a square, probably several, but you need at least one, and you need to be able to have that as your reference square. You know that square. Now, whether that's a finely crafted rosewood and brass, woodworkers thing, I don't have one of those, or whether that's something that's machined to the nearest thousandth of an inch, so that you can build your next spaceship out of wood. I don't have one of those either. What I do have though is a little sort of engineering square like this one. This is a 6-inch Moore and Wright from a long, quite old, or slightly smaller version, cheaper version like this, or even just a little sliding square like this. The main thing is you need to be able to check that it's square, and there's a really simple, really easy way to do that, and if you don't know, I'll show you how. Now this is nothing but simple geometry. Archimedes and Pythagoras were probably doing this when they were nippers at school. All you got to do, you need your square, and you need a board. I've got a piece of board that's painted white for convenience here, with one good edge. And all you got to do, you put your square against the edge, and you draw a line, and then you flip the square over 180 degrees. You get it as close as you can to your line, and you draw another one. And quite simply, if those two lines are parallel, then you've got a square. There's no, there's no argument with that. Right, I'll tell you what, let's try one of my squares. I'm just using a block of wood here to keep that flush against the edge of the board. Pop that in, draw a line, flip it over, draw another one. Short answer, not bad. Square enough, I think is the key word. So yeah, these are really handy little things to do. Let's get some board cut, and then we'll see if we can make a couple of these. So I'm going to make mine out of some 18mm birch ply. You can use whatever you've got. These are just offcuts. I've got loads of sort of offcuts this sort of size. I'm going to make mine 10-inch basically, 250mm square. So we'll start with a 250mm square piece of 18mm birch ply. That also happens to be a convenient size, similar to the ones I've already got, but it also just about squeezes through the throat of my little bandsaw, so that'll work out reasonably well. So we'll start with that. And of course, since we're taking nothing for granted, we always check that the cut is actually square. So we've got our little sort of 250mm square blank that fits just inside the throat of the bandsaw there, with the depth set to about just over 50mm, 2 inches. And then we'll just make 2 cuts into there, and then we're actually going to do we're going to do an extra one as well. Make good use of this piece of board. And of course we know the outside edge is square, and astonishingly the inside edge is actually pretty good as well, certainly within my tolerances. So we'll give that a bit of a clean up, a bit of a sand, and that's our first square done, easy as that. Now the clever part of course is that we've also got a 200mm square offcut, so we're going to make another one of these, just a little bit smaller. So moment of truth time, these have all been given a bit of a clean up with the sander. How square are they? Well, let's find out. So once again, oops, we're using a little block of wood. To give us our edge. This is the big one. Flip. That's pretty good. This is our middling one. Flip. That's also pretty good. And this is our baby one. Oops. Absolutely bang on. All of them. Absolutely square. Nobody's more surprised than me. So that's it for this week's video. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. A bit of a quick one this week, I know. I'm sort of out of the workshop and in. I've got a load of painted stuff in the workshop that I've just had to move next door so I could do this cutting. Small workshop woes. There's a few more bits and pieces coming up. Well, the job that I'm working on isn't really videoable, I'm afraid. But I've got a few other bits and bobs coming up. A couple of things go through the workshop next week that are a bit more interesting. The alcove unit. There's more to come with that. All is not settled with that just yet. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this quick video. Hope you make a set of these. They're really quick and easy to do and very, very useful around the workshop. If you did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up, share it amongst your friends, and please do consider subscribing. Then you'll be notified whenever I put up something new. And of course, you can always support me through Patreon at patreon.com/10Minute Workshop. And thank you so much to everybody who's already done that. I really appreciate it. That's it for this week. I will look forward to seeing you next time. I'll see you then. Take care.